Hello everyone and welcome back to Aussie Starcraft. Today we have a real treat from you. We're casting some of the replays from the WCS Season 2 replay pack that's just been released. This game is from the WCS America round of 8. In the top left hand corner we have Scarlett, and in the bottom right hand corner we have EGaLive from Team EG. And there's a very high level Zerg vs Terran game. Played on Bel'Shir Vestige, so we'll see just what these two have in store for us today. Of course, WCS Season 3 is underway at present. Looking forward to the results of that as they come, and hoping they do similar and release a replay pack for that. We've had some extraordinary games go on so far. Now, Bel'Shir Vestige is quite an interesting map. For those of you that have played it on ladder, it's generally very easy to take your natural. Is a fairly wide opening here, but most racers can wall that off, and Zerg tend not to have too much of an issue. The third base also, you got two options for a third. You can take your third down here, or your third across here. The only problem for taking this third base against Terran as a Zerg player is they tend to be able to play some elevator games with the medevacs across this gap here and cause real problems in trying to defend those drops. I won't be surprised if we see Scarlett take a third base over here in this safer location. It's a much shorter travel distance across here than it is to repeatedly try and get around and back. Also makes it very easy for a Terran player to drop one of those bases and press on the other with his main ground force. You can see that EGaLive's gone for the gutsy command center first on the low ground, and now dropping his barracks on the high ground with his first refinery on the way. Likewise, Scarlett's dropped her hatch and has a spawning pool almost finished. And we have EGaLive moving out with his first SCV to scout. Scarlett's overlords positioned here have already spotted the command center on the low ground. Luckily there was no early pool, otherwise that could have been very easily denied. But we are seeing quite a greedy Terran play style at the moment, with a quick second command center, and sometimes from some of the bolder or greedier Terran we have out there, we see even a third CC very early in the game. The Scarlett's now underway, mining at a natural. Be interesting. Still no assimilators. Sorry, extractors for Zerg. No extractors yet. So very mineral heavy play. Obviously not planning for any sort of early Zergling Bangling sort of aggression. You can see EGaLive trying to block this third base with an engineering bay, but Scarlett's already got her Zerglings out there to deny that. There are a few Marines moving out, probably just looking for any early overlords that they can pick up. Unfortunately for EGaLive, they're already sitting here and quite safe for the time being, getting ready to do their 6 to 8 minute scouts that'll give Scarlett an indication of what play style EGaLive's going with. I have 3 barracks now, either in play or under construction, and a factory with a reactor. Seeing this quite commonly out of Terran players against Zerg. It's very good for denying creep or that sort of thing, as try and keep the Zerg player under control. A bit of overlord tickling going on here with the Marine. He won't be able to take that out just yet. Another Marine up here trying to deny these scout attempts when they inevitably move out. Scarlett being smart with the rest of her overlords, starting to get good coverage, trying to spot those incoming drops as soon as she can. Bit of walling off, make it a bit harder for these Hellions to try and run by. You can see her Queen's getting up in position there to stop those sneaking on through. Managed to pick up a creep tumor, which is always nice. Slow down that creep spread just a bit, because Scarlett at the moment has some of the best creep spread in the business. Not uncommon for around the 15 to 16 minute mark to see her creep well out around halfway across the field. Scarlett picking off her own tumor there just to tighten up that wall in with a spine crawler. Now she's got 4 gas on the way and a lair. Scarlett's a big fan of her muta play, so I think we can expect to probably see a little bit of that out of her. Going up against what looks to be a biomine sort of setup from Alive. +1 weapons on the way. If we check out the income tab for how things are faring, we can see it's a very even game. Both players getting their natural up around the same time, with a third base up from Scarlett already. So little bit of an income edge we can expect to see in the near future. We can see Alive though getting ready for that potential muta harass and starting to place mines around his mineral line. Oh, maybe not. A little bit of a Zergling poking at the wall, testing, making sure it's Zergling tight, which of course it is. And now Alive throws down that third command center. Hellion sitting in the middle of the map, trying to keep a bit of an eye on what's going on. And we have Zergling coming down to check Alive's third. Very sneaky of Alive there. If you saw what he did, he parked his SCV in front of the creep tumor that he knew was almost dead, and then he tried to attack his own SCV and have the area of effect damage take out the creep tumor. Unluckily for him, it had healed up just a bit, as Zerg structures do heal naturally on creep, and it managed to survive. So nice little bonus for Scarlett. We have a big attack moving out here. The 6 Hellions from earlier, plus a big Marine Marauder and 2 Medevac force. It's quite a nice timing from Alive. Caught Scarlett with very little on the field. Killing those Overlords, managing to get her supply blocked, but she rolls in here with a big Baneling Zergling force to try and clean this out. Picks up. There's the problem with Medevacs in this map. Very easy to do this dual sort of harassment play. Parked in behind the extractor, it's very difficult for these Zerglings to get around, and Alive will pick off a number of workers. We can see that he's up to 15 workers killed, which is just excellent for him at this stage of the game. Help him level out against the fact that Scarlett hasn't taken his own third base. I mean, see him being sneaky with these Medevacs, lifting and dropping the Marauders, doing as much damage as he possibly can. If we go to the Units Lost tab, Units Lost, that one even, we can see that Scarlett's lost substantially more, 1,500 more worth of units, but it's not uncommon given the fact that Scarlett is in fact on 3 bases, so she has more money to spend and more to lose. You can see Scarlett's creep spread is indeed off the chart at 12 to 15 minutes, or almost halfway across the map. That's very indicative of her macro ability and her ability to take care of the small elements of Zerg players, as well as some of the more crucial macro and micro stages. The fact that she's managed to get that level of creep coverage while still dealing with these drops and aggression from Alive is a testament to the level of play she's putting out at the moment. We have Scarlett cleaning out this drop with with drones and mutalisks, while she gets ready to try and deal with this push at her third base. Alive's consistently putting on pressure here, doing very well. The Scarlett's going to need to get something in play to deny these drops, either get active with these mutalisks or get some static D, because Alive's doing excellent work with these medevacs, lifting and dropping in different spots, putting a lot of pressure on Alive's main base and her third base, leaving the natural alone mostly, but plucking away at the first and third bases, doing quite a lot of damage. Workers killed up to 31. If we check out the production tab, we can see that there is a steady stream of bio, 7 Marines and a Marauder on the way at a time, along with the drilling cores upgrade. Scarlett's started, then cancelled, I believe, her +1 upgrade. Oh no, finished +1 upgrade for a Mutalisk, so hopefully they'll help her be able to clean out these medevacs that are causing her so much of a problem. This drop driven off pretty quickly, medevac boosting to get out of there. We have more forces moving out across the map. Another medevac here. You can see Alive's being very active with these medevacs, very quick on the very quick on the pickup, trying to cause as much damage as possible with these. You can see he's also using it to try and bait the Mutalisks into these Widow Mines that are on this side of the field as he ducks back and forth. If this medevac's not careful, its speed boost's going to run out and it'll get plucked off by the Mutalisks, which are inevitably hovering around. You can see Alive's working hard to focus down the medevac first, that way he can clean up these drops with Zerglings. Whereas if the medevac's there, the Marines can pretty much gun down Zerglings almost all day long. Okay, big battle going on in the middle of the field. You can see Alive spread out quite well, but Scarlett's picking those off with upgraded Zerglings and trying to take out these medevacs as best she can. As we can see, Scarlett, a huge fan of Zergling Bangling Mutalisk, very heavily favours this playstyle, and she's got quite good control with it. You can see, unfortunately, takes a hit from that Widow Mine, unable to pick it up before it lets go its Sentinel missile payload. Fourth base now up from Scarlett, with a third well saturated on the Alive side. We now have 10 Marines, 3 Marauders at a time. There's Terran production at full scale, and you can see it just moving out in waves across the map. As these finish, just look at the stream of bio go. Now that's an intimidating amount of units. Every 30 to 40 seconds that's being spat out, so we'll see that Alive, as long as he has money to fuel this, is going to be able to stream almost a constant set of harassment across the map. Scarlett moving out into the mid with her Zergling Bailing, but yet again pulled back into her main to try and contain these constant harassment. Alive with very clever positioning, always getting his Marines in these mineral line gaps or behind the extractors to do maximum damage and give minimum frontage for those Zerglings to attack. You know, see Scarlett starting to get a bit more active with these Mutalisks, plucking away at the corner of Alive's base and forcing him to bring back some units to defend. We can see a massive Zergling Bailing force moving out here. Scarlett trying to get the surround on these, forcing the medevacs out of position. Some big hits on those Widow Mines before they get taken out. Muta's still hunting down these medevacs. Every kill they can get just drops that Terran cost efficiency through the floor. Unsure who came out ahead in that engagement, both players dropping down to about 130 supply. If we bring up the units lost, it's still about the same gap that we've seen for most of the game, 16,000 to 14,000, but Alive being absolutely relentless with these drops. Even now we can see 2 medevacs over here with a group of Marines and Marauders trying to clean up this creep spread as best he can before loading one up, and I think we can expect to see this medevac loop around and come up and put some pressure on here. And see Alive floating a command center through the middle of the map. I'm unsure what his exact intentions, whether that was a misclick or whether he has in fact got some devious plans for that command center. Scarlett again being active with these mutas in levelling up this worker's killed count, starting to get a few of her own. Could get a lot of kills at this expansion, but choosing to be very careful, ensure that she doesn't lose too many mutas to these marines that are streaming out now. We have a heavy push on Scarlett's 4th base, taking out the hatchery before it gets cleaned up. The medevacs fly straight into the Mutalisk. Free medevac full of units down the toilet. Alive Relentless still got a 2 marine drop at the main base. It's some of the most consistent drop play we've seen in a long time. The game's even right up 17,700 to 18,000. It's literally 300 resource difference between these two players. See, supply is 185 to 150. Now if Scarlett can put on some pressure here, it's got an opportunity to get some damage with these Mutalisks before Alive can recover from losing that latest army. Scarlett drops down her 4th again and moves into the middle of the map to try and combat this Marine Marauder force. If she loses this base, Scarlett will fall behind on the income and will struggle in the later stages of this game. Can't afford to be down to these few mineral patches in the 3rd base. So yet another drop, almost clean up, 1 Marauder left, and another drop moving out from Alive. Mutas come across, they should clean this up rather easily and allow Scarlett to focus on trying to remove these last pesky few units. Alive starting to recover, is up to 180 supply. With his own 4th base going strong. Planetary Fortress there, nice and durable against any Zergling counterattacks. See, Scarlett's moved her Overlord up, started pooping creep here to stop Alive landing any command center there, try and cut off his income stream. Terran with their mules can make it very difficult. They drop a base and drop a bunch of mules and are very quickly able to mine out expansions and stay in the game when other races would take much longer to try and defend. Scarlett's starting to finally drop a lot more static D, try and prevent these drops from doing the sorts of damage that they're doing at the moment. Big fight here in the main. Marine Marauders versus Ultralisk, Baneling and Zergling. Scarlett choosing to move back on the creep instead of trying to fight off creep in an unfavourable engagement. I think if Alive's not careful, we'll see him wrap around with these Ultralisks and do massive damage. Trying to tank the damage with the Marauders at the front. Unfortunately for him, a few fungal growths and this army will get cleaned right up. Unfortunately for Alive, it stimmed a few too many times, and now that force is susceptible to the Ultralisks. Have Scarlett running around picking off these key add-ons, tech labs and reactors going down, try and cut into the production of Alive and stop him from reinforcing this main force. If I had to give the edge to someone at the moment, I'd have to say Scarlett has played this out very well, managing to hold off the constant aggression from Alive, the constant drops, just excellent multitasking and macro to keep herself in this game. Another barracks goes down. Scarlett's almost managed to get the units lost even, which at this stage of the game with 5 bases in play, it gives her a decisive advantage. Alive's not giving up, spreading these widow mines, trying to get into as aggressive a position as possible. He knows how key this 5th base is, and it's on half health. If he can take this out, he will be able to get himself in a position to get back in this game. You can see the space extraordinarily oversaturated. 27 SCVs and 5 mules. It's crazy oversaturation, but with nowhere else to put them, Alive's desperate for that income. Well, Broodlords on the field for Scarlett are going to rip apart this Widow Mine play. We can just get some sight down here, we'll be able to clean up the last of these Widow Mines, and Alive is in a very uncomfortable position. One Viking on the way at a time is not going to be enough to deal with these Mutalisks and Corruptors that we see up here. Very late game Zerg Death Ball, and it's got to be terrifying for someone in Alive's position. Not giving up, he has managed to drop another Widow Mine in with 8 kills on that Widow Mine and put some more pressure in the main base. I mean, take out this spawning pool for Scarlett could actually cause her some inconvenience too. His attention's obviously elsewhere, he's got to keep his main force alive. You see him drop getting cleaned up here, some Ultralisks and Mutalisks. And Scarlett continuing to pick away with fungal growths and broodlings is just terminal for the Terran force. The Widow Mines can do very little. Their splash damage doing damage to their own force, and we can see fungal growths and broodlings just enough to clean this right up. A few Marines trying to pick away at the Ultralisks, at the Broodlords even, but not quite enough, and they do manage to work their way through. We look at the production tab, we can see 1 Viking, 10 Marines on the way at a time, as opposed to 4 Infestors and 3 Ultralisks. Scarlett up still at 160 supply, with Alive struggling to break 100, and an Ultralisk counter attack trying to make a mess of these Terran reinforcements. A lot of players will rally their army up to where they're going, and it's very easy to pick off their reinforcements if they're not paying attention. These Broodlords will be able to hit this planetary fortress all day long. We'll see what Alive can do to try and stave this off. If this planetary drops, it does in fact GG out of the game. Excellent play there from Alive and Scarlett. Fantastic concentration to try and hold off that level of Terran play. It's the constant aggression from early in the game. It just keeps the biomine pressure right up in the face. Fantastic play from Alive, but just phenomenal play from Scarlett to pull ahead in that one. As mentioned before, this is a best of 3, so we'll be casting the remainder of the games in this series. I hope you tune in for those. They look like it's going to be an absolutely cracking series. Take care, guys, and we'll see you in game number 2.